Tulsi Gabbard is not only on the short list for vice president, supposedly, there's talk of her being one of the keynote speakers at the Republican convention. Listen to what she has to say about Joe Biden's priorities. And this is from a longtime Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard used to be the congresswoman from Hawaii. She didn't run for re-election. Instead, she ran for president. She's a great patriot. She's still serving her country in uniform. A number of tours overseas in the Middle East, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Besides being mentioned in some conversations as a potential vice presidential pick under Trump, they're now talking, at least yesterday, that she should address the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, as they think she's a great public speaker and really gets it regarding conservative values. She had a really interesting take on this video she put out on her phone a couple weeks ago, going after Joe Biden, who proclaimed that the biggest threat to America is not the open border with 10 million people flowing in, terrorists, murderers, thieves, drug dealers, human traffickers. It's not inflation that's out of control where people can't afford to buy groceries. It's not the war in Gaza and northern Israel. It's killing thousands and thousands of people. It's not the confrontation between Ukraine and Russia that threatens to develop into nuclear war. No, you stupid Americans. You won't believe what Joe Biden says, the only major threat facing America. Check out Tulsi Gabbard.
In the wake of yesterday's debate between President Biden and President Trump, a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, President Biden comes across as so old. What about his performance? It's not the most important thing that we should be paying attention to. The problem isn't that he's just old. The problem is he's insane. Only a madman would not consider a nuclear holocaust, a nuclear war, as an existential threat. He said, quote, the only existential threat to humanity is climate change, end of quote. Only an insane person would say this. And this exact insane person has the power to launch a nuclear weapon. How could we even consider that it would be safe to reelect this man? Now, remember, again, he's the guy with the nuclear codes, and yet he doesn't consider nuclear war to be an existential threat. I don't know what he thinks it'll be. Is it just going to be a walk in the park? We're talking about the skin burning off of our children, the decimation of all living things, what to speak of the nuclear winter that would follow. This doesn't seem to be a concern to President Biden, which makes me ask, what world is this man living in? He is responsible for the fact that today we are now closer to nuclear war than ever before, and he is responsible for deciding whether or not we will engage in nuclear war, and yet he doesn't consider it an existential threat. It doesn't bring me any joy to say this. I've known the Bidens. I've known President Biden. I was friend with his son, Beau. We served in the National Guard. I endorsed him because I thought he had a good heart. So I'm not saying this because of partisanship or hatred or anything else. I'm saying this because I love the American people and this world that we live in. I cherish peace and freedom. This world is not ours to destroy. Even if President Biden and the Democrats think that they have the right to decimate us, our families, our homes, our communities, they don't have the right to destroy all living creatures on this planet. This man does not belong in the White House holding this position of power because he's a threat to the two very most important things, life and liberty. To vote for Biden is to vote for nuclear war and tyranny, the destruction of our democracy. That is a fact.
Something to think about. The woke left doesn't agree.
No.
The Greens don't agree. What's
that?
They
hate her now. I said they hate her now.
They probably hated her because she's in uniform and she serves her country like your dad did.
Yep, that too.